Hello and welcome to the Hopkinton Hangout Hour. I'm HCAM News Director Tom Nappy, and we thank you for tuning in to today's show. With us, we have Matt Clark as well as Bob Hamilton, and we also have our guest for the first half hour, Matt Reardon, and he has a great Facebook page to tell us about. But first, I want to let everyone know that we are taking comments and questions on today's show. And you could do that a number of different ways. You could do that by emailing studio@hcam.tv. You could also do it by commenting on our Facebook post that's pinned to the top of the page talking about today's show. And you could also comment or ask your questions on our YouTube live stream. And with us today, we have Hopkinton resident Matt Reardon. Matt, how are you doing today?
Can you hear me?
There we go.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. But before we talk about your terrific Facebook page you started, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, went to school, whatever background information you can give us.
Well, I've lived in Hopkinton for 4 years. Live over on East Main Street. I grew up in Medway, just a couple towns over, and I went to school at Bridgewater State College, which is now Bridgewater State University.
Terrific. And you created a great Facebook page that has gotten a lot of followers called Red for Unity. Could you tell us about your Facebook page and what encouraged you to start it?
Well, I think like a lot of people with this crazy situation we have going on right now, I felt a little helpless. I wanted to help, but it didn't feel like there's anything I could do. I felt like that for a little while, and I started thinking why there isn't any sort of like visible movement. We usually, when there's something of this scale, when not everyone is taking it seriously, or maybe there's just not the awareness, there's usually some sort of movement, and there was nothing. So I thought it over, and I thought of, well, we don't want people going to the store to buy a certain something or ordering something and clogging up the shipping system, but everyone has something red in their house. They have holiday decorations. So people don't have to go to the store to do that. They can just use something that they have, put it out front to let healthcare workers and their neighbors and everyone know that they have their support and solidarity.
And what encouraged you to choose red to represent this?
Well, red is the color of the humanitarian cross, like the Red Cross symbol. Um, it's a common color that everyone's going to already have, and they're not going to need to go to the store. Not everyone's going to have fluorescent green things laying around, and it's highly visible too. So it's easy to see. You can put something that's not humongous. You can put a little red ribbon out front, and it's going to stick out.
Well, I guess I wore the right shirt today.
There you go. Yeah, me too.
There is also a link to donate to a charity on the Facebook page. Could you tell us about the charity and your involvement with it?
There's a few charities that we link to. We pretty much are encouraging people to donate to whatever charity they think is the best for them, to do their research. There's an organization called Charity Navigator. I can bring it up here on the screen and share it, I believe. Um, just one second. Do.
So,
There,
oh,
there we go. So this is the Charity Navigator website. They're going to give you some guidance on where to donate, depending on which aspect of this crisis is more important to you, because there's a lot of different aspects of it. But I can definitely recommend a few certain ones if that helps.
yeah, sure. Terrific.
One of my favorites is the CDC Foundation. They're not a government organization. They work with the CDC to kind of assist and triage between them and people on the ground that are doing work or helping with supplies. The Center for Disaster Philanthropy is a good one too, and of course the American Red Cross, and also um, Feeding America is a good one because a lot of people are going to be losing jobs and having trouble feeding their families.
And was it just you that decided to create this Facebook page, or did you have some help?
I definitely had help. I had, the initial idea, but that's really only a small part of it. There's a lot of encouragement. I had to, I had no idea if it would take off or not. So when thought of it, asked my sister. I had to make sure at least one other person would put something right out, and it wasn't going to be just me. But she said it was a great idea, and so I did it. And now we have about 14,000 people on the Facebook group 5 days later, and people outside of Facebook doing it too. So it's really cool to see.
It's pretty unbelievable. And there's been a lot of people posting pictures of red plants, red ribbons, red hearts. Seems like you started a trend here. That must make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's really awesome to see all the people coming together in unity. We have, I think, more division in our country than at other times, and now is when we definitely need unity. So, with how overwhelming this crisis can be. And lately, I've been feeling overwhelmed in a good way just by how much positivity and hope that people are sharing.
Absolutely, and certainly a time that people need to come together. So ultimately, I mean, you talked a bit about this already, but what are you hoping to achieve with this page?
Well, definitely, the getting the awareness and the donations where they're needed is obviously the biggest thing. But just if you leave your house and go for a walk, or you're an essential worker and you go drive, it's just kind of barren outside, and you wouldn't be surprised if a tumbleweed just tumbled by. So at least this is kind of like a message that, hey, even though we're physically apart, we're in this together. We're here. We're supporting you, especially supporting the healthcare workers, the essential employees, and the first responders.
And I'll pull up one of the images from the page. I think this explains what your page is about
Yeah,
very,
absolutely.
very well. Can you just talk about this image a little bit? And were you the
Sure. Well,
creator of this?
maybe I'll read it for you. So
Sure.
it says, "Red means I support our healthcare workers. Red means I support first responders. Red means I care about my neighbors. Red means everyone is in my thoughts. Red means this is real. Red means I donate. Red means love. Red means I'm just a phone call away. Red means we win with knowledge. And red means we are united against COVID-19."
Yeah, certainly a great image. Really describes what the Facebook page is all about. And you have another image here. Maybe you could talk about this one a little bit. Pull that up.
Oh, so that's a collage that my sister created out of a lot of the pictures that were being posted, and that was just after a very short time that group was started. People were just coming out in droves and really appreciating the whole idea.
And it's certainly had a lot of participants. Could you talk about some of you've had I believe you said 14,000 followers already, and it seems to be from a number of different communities. Can you talk about
Oh yeah.
what some of the biggest communities are in that Facebook group, the communities that have gotten most involved or like the page the most?
Well, there's definitely a lot from around here and surrounding towns. Bellingham, Hopedale, Medway. We're seeing a lot of, but also seeing people in other countries or all over the U.S., Canada, Honduras, even.
That is terrific. And
Yeah.
what are some of the ways that you promoted this page and gained so much attention to it?
It really took off on its own. I mean, I had a few really enthusiastic people that were close friends when I first started it, and they told all their friends, and then those friends told all their friends, and so it was growing at a pretty good clip. And then the group got up, like I said, up to almost 14,000 people, and it started to get a little off topic. So I had to learn how to manage a Facebook group. Never done that before, but it's a work in progress, and I think it's heading in the right direction.
And if you're looking for that Facebook page right now, it is facebook.com/groups/red for unity. The title of the page is Red for Unity with coronavirus in parentheses. Certainly a great page with a lot of excellent information about various charitable needs, because obviously this has been disastrous for a number of people that are out of the job or just simply can't work. And uh, I think charity is going to be what it's all about in these coming weeks, Matt.
Right, definitely. Yeah, I mean
Awesome.
it's tough to donate right now, but because everyone's jobs are being affected, but you just do what you can.
And has anyone from the page contacted you with any stories of their experiences that meant a lot to you? And if you can, what were some of those stories?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of healthcare workers that are chiming in, letting us know what it's like on the front lines. Some of the stuff that they're dealing with is really tough. Some places they're short on supplies, masks, of course. Um, they're trying to stay strong, and they're definitely being positive, and they still seem to love what they're doing, and they don't want to quit. They want to, this is what they train for, and this is why they do it. But also, they need everyone's support. They need for everyone else to make it easier on them by not spreading it, not overwhelming the healthcare system.
Absolutely. We certainly have to be thankful for all those medical professionals that are on the front lines. They're just doing amazing work. And I can only imagine the amount of hours and the amount of pressure that they have right now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And then there's also folks that um, have actually contracted the disease that are chiming in too, and saying that it's no joke. You don't want this. It feels like this might be my last breath. But what's pretty amazing is that those people are also being strong, and they're at peace, but they're fighting the fight of their lives.
Yeah, they certainly are. And we certainly hope all the medical professionals out there that are on the front lines stay safe. Obviously, it's easier said than done with the amount of cases, especially in the local area. You have brought together a lot of different people from different communities with this page, all in the goal of supporting the medical professionals on the front lines of this war against the coronavirus. I mean, can you just talk more about how it feels to you to see all these people coming together? And you just started this page a couple of weeks ago,
No,
and
5 days ago.
oh wow, excuse me, 5 days ago, and
Yeah,
already tremendous support. I
yeah.
mean, that must just make you feel great.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I feel overwhelmed in a different way than I did before this group started. It was overwhelming how this pandemic affected so many aspects of our lives, and then seeing this is really helped me personally, and I think it's helped some other people too. So, if the idea was something that helped people, then that's awesome. But again, it's just an idea. It's all the people that came together. People had to be ready for a message of unity in order for this to happen.
And can you talk a little bit about your social distancing experience, how that has gone, and what are some of the things that you have done to protect yourself or your family with the COVID-19 pandemic?
We've followed all the, the recommendations and advisories. I think Governor Baker has done a great job with the decisions and the messaging. I think at one point it was more of a recommendation, and my wife and I sat down and we talked about it and tried to figure out, okay, what's the right thing to do right now, rather than what do we have to do? What's the right thing and the thing we can do to help out the most? And even though we really want to see family and friends, we're doing what most people are doing right now, and doing video chats, and taking up old hobbies, new hobbies, getting back into video games, that sort of thing, whatever it takes.
So, are those some of the activities you have done? Are you a video gamer?
Uh, Usually not that much, but I have to admit I've refound my enjoyment of hockey video games.
Can't beat that. And speaking of video games, in the second half hour of today's program, Matt Clark will have an episode of Geek Week, and they'll be talking about all kinds of great stuff on Geek Week. That starts up at about 2:30. But continuing on with Matt Reardon of the Red for Unity Coronavirus Facebook group, we just want to let everyone know, if you have a question and you're watching the show right now, you can ask those questions in a number of ways via our YouTube live stream, also the post at the top of our Facebook page, as well as by emailing studio@hcam.tv. And Matt, we certainly thank you for joining us, and we'll keep you here for another few minutes.
Okay.
And I just want to throw
Thanks.
in a couple of different questions here. Our show on Friday is going to talk about programs that people are binge watching. So I have to ask, have you been binge watching any television programs or movies?
Uh, yeah, we definitely have. Let's see, we've been trying to keep it light, and we recently watched a series called "On Becoming a God in Central Florida." It's a Showtime series, and it's about a single mom. Kirsten Dunst plays this single mom that's rough around the edges and knows how to get things done, and she kind of takes life by the horns in a comedic way.
Terrific. And we want to let everybody know we do have a post on our Facebook page, and we certainly want to know what you are binge watching during this coronavirus pandemic. Matt, so do you have any plans to reach further with this Facebook page? Obviously, you already have an incredible reach in just the 5 days, uh, but are there any upcoming things that you plan on doing to promote this even further?
I think it'll be more about getting people that are already part of it to spread the word, maybe encourage them to be local ambassadors and do what I'm doing right now and talk to their local TV station or newspaper, and get the word out there, and of course, encourage those donations to the great charities.
And if you don't mind, I just want to have you mention some of those charities that you mentioned before, because they're just great charitable organizations.
Sure. So definitely would recommend the Center for Disaster Philanthropy, the CDC Foundation, the American Red Cross, and Feeding America. But again, there's a lot of great charities out there. So pick the one that you feel good about. Do your research to make sure it's legit and no one's trying to scam you, and donate what you can.
Terrific. And get some red ribbons and some red decorations. Join
Yeah.
the Facebook group and send some pictures, right?
Yep. Show your support. Yep.
All right, Matt. Well, we thank you so much for joining us. Again, that's Matt Reardon, Hopkinton resident from the Red for Unity coronavirus page. You could find them at facebook.com/groups/Red for Unity. Matt, it's been a pleasure talking with you today.
You too.
What are your plans on this beautiful day outside? Doing anything good to get outdoors?
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea. Take the dog for a walk, get some exercise, try to do good things. And instead of just TV binge the whole time.
Absolutely. And just any final words that you want to say to the community out there?
Hang in there, everyone. It's a tough time, but we got to keep our chins up, stay together, find common ground.
All right, that's Matt Reardon out of Hopkinton. And definitely check out the Red for Unity coronavirus Facebook page. A lot of great charitable causes up there and a lot of great trends that the page is starting. Matt, congratulations on starting such a wonderful page. And I'm sure
Thank you.
many more followers are going to be joining as well.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on.
All right, that is Matt Reardon. We are going to have Geek Week coming up in the second half hour of the show. Matt Clark will be the host of the Geek Week episode. And we did just get a little bit of breaking news, so I'll mention that. Governor Charlie Baker announced the extension of the Massachusetts stay-at-home advisory until May 4th. So there certainly will be some more state legislature coming out in the coming days with the as we are in the midst of the coronavirus battle. We certainly hope everybody stays safe out there, stays healthy, and stay home. But you can certainly go outside. All
May
right.
4th. Wow.
Yep, May 4th. I mean, the cases keep picking up. So,
as expected.
Certainly a difficult situation. And I'm sure a lot of people saw that would be coming as well. But, Matt, why don't you talk about some upcoming programming on HCAM? What do we got for binge watching and upcoming episodes of the Hopkinton Hangout Hour? And then I'll let you take it away with Geek Week.
Yeah, absolutely. Today on Binge Blocks, we're going to be showing a couple of hours worth of Business Matters, a classic HCAM show. Tomorrow we will be, off the top of my head, I can't remember. Let me check my. Tomorrow we have the 2019 Hiller softball season. You know, just in case people are hankering to get their spring sports season, I scheduled some of that. That's going to be on HCAM Ed tomorrow. On Thursday, we have Character Matters, a Character Matters marathon with Margie Wiggin. And then on Friday, I'm going to have a selection of high school drama ensemble plays for people to watch on HCAM Ed as well.
And what are some of the topics going to be on today's edition of Geek Week?
Well, I have two of my good friends who have been on Geek Week before. I have Alex Kershey returning, and I have Sam Churko as well. We're just kind of going to be talking about, what we're doing to pass the time. And I think they should be waiting now if you want to get them on in here at this point.
They are here, so we'll get them right in.
Excellent.
And we should be good to go. And Matt, I'll let you take it away for a half hour of Geek Week.
All right, excellent. Hi, Sam. Hi, Alex. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys? It's been a while.
It's been a while. Things have been pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad. Getting through. Making the best of my time. So,
awesome.
So for anyone just joining us, this is kind of like a little impromptu Geek Week special. It's not officially Geek Week. I don't have my my cool rocket opening prepared or anything. Still very proud of that opening. Handmade that myself. But we're just gonna kind of be geeking out. And Tom and Bob, if you have anything to contribute to the conversation, please feel free to join in. But let's just get right into it. What have you guys been doing to pass your time? Because obviously we've been in social distancing or physical distancing, I believe, is the new terminology.
Really?
I read that from a science
thing on television a few minutes ago, but I think that there might be a
I've heard
national shifting dialogue on this front.
Yeah, I've heard it's shifting mostly because you're supposed to keep physical distance from each other. We are encouraged to socially interact in any way that we still can.
Yeah.
So it's just a clarification of.
I've long wondered if there should be that specific clarification on this, because I think that when people hear social distancing, they think a different thing than what sort of the reality of the situation is, because we're social animals, we crave social interaction, and there are ways to do that safely in times like this.
Mhm.
One of the ways in which I've been occupying my time is that I've actually been reaching out to a lot of people I haven't spoken to recently, because there's more time in which to more time in which to reach out to people and talk to them. I've had some nice conversations with people I haven't seen in a while. Just making a big list of people I got to make sure are okay, and let people know, or that I'm thinking about them and stuff. And that's been I don't know, it's been a silver lining, I suppose. I think that one of the things that's difficult about all of this is that uh there's a lot of perspective to be had in what we're doing and how we're doing it and how we're spending our time, when the best thing that we can do in a lot of cases is what we're doing, which is staying inside. And it's like, it's one of the very few times where the best thing to do is very little, which means that then what you have to be doing is touching base with people, and finding ways to sort of keep yourself and the people around you happy, healthy, and sane. And maybe maybe that involves watching Terminator a few more times than you thought it was going to, which has definitely been my experience. Or maybe maybe you've got books to finish, or TV shows you want to watch, or video games to play, which has been a big portion of my thing. Teach your family how to play new board games if you have board games around. One thing I was thinking about actually is that there's very, very useful card game, because I think that most people, even if they don't own a lot of board games, own a pack of traditional playing cards. And there's a lot
yeah.
of websites where you can go and learn tons of new card games, which is always one of my favorite things to do on vacation. Like when I would go to Florida to visit my father's family on vacation, I would always bring a pack of cards and then try and learn the rules to one new strange card game every vacation, and then force people to play it with me. And that's something that I think people could spend their time doing. Fun thing to
So,
do.
Sam, what about you? And how are you spending your time?
Yeah, I've had a lot of free time, a lot like other folks. But a lot like other folks, I've been working from home. I'm a
Mhm.
seventh grade social studies teacher, so I've been trying to find ways to get the kids connected. And kids really like video games,
Yeah,
so
oh yeah. As
so
we
I've
did
been,
when we were kids,
and as we
now.
continue to, as just larger kids. Um, so what I've been doing, and with the help of some other folks like Alex, we've been streaming historical-ish video games to teach these kids a thing or two about history. And we get them engaged for 2 hours weekday mornings, and hopefully they learn something. So I've been playing a lot of Civilization, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, every morning I'm on my computer doing work, and at 11 sharp I see you got Sam and Alex and others start playing Civilization. I'm like, oh, it's that time already, huh?
Yep.
And how's that going?
It's-
How is that going with the kids? Like, do you engage with them?
Oh yeah. So I keep the chat open on the side, and if I ask them questions, they're responsive. They ask me questions. Yesterday, they just started asking riddles. So for 2 hours, while I was teaching them about history, we tried to solve all of these different riddles. It was fun, and
That's awesome.
there's like a weird amount of buy-in. Um, the students, they show up on time earlier than start time, and they keep asking us to keep streaming, to keep talking about history and video games. And like, yes, it's not all of the students, it's only a handful of them, but the fact that kids like still crave education, it's pretty awesome.
That is amazing. You do seem to have a great way of connecting with your students.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
no problem. I've noticed that in every year you've been teaching. This is your third year, right?
Yep, third year
Yeah.
teaching.
So yeah, no, you definitely have a way of connecting with them, and that's amazing.
Thanks, Matt.
Not easy to do.
No, but especially now when I told them this today, I miss seeing them. So this is a good alternative. So I'm very thankful for technology and video games for that. Just to tie it all back to Geek Week.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got Greece on the mind. I'm teaching Greece.
No,
too.
it's okay. This is a very
Greece week.
informal Geek Week.
All right, so
it's
so
kind of
it's
Geek
Greece
Week in
week now?
name only.
It's now also Greek Week.
Greek
let's
week.
talk about let's talk about Gorgo.
I'd talk about Gorgo for hours. But
I'm not familiar, but
The Queen of
she was
Sparta.
Leonidas's wife.
I am very rusty on my Greek mythology,
No worries.
and even
The only
rustier on my
known-
Greek history.
The only known child of Cleomenes the First, king of Sparta, which I just
did not know
myself
that.
learned
Cool.
by Googling her.
Neat.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing to keep up with the kids and with school. Personally, I've been watching a lot of TV. My roommate and I, we just finished rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender. So
You guys are
we
Oh, you
through
got
it
through
now?
it?
Oh yeah, we got through all 3 books. We finished it the other
Wow.
night.
Are you
Yep.
gonna watch Korra now?
So we were gonna start Korra today, but we might wait till social distancing is over and loop a few other folks in.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I
would just
also
remind
wanted to watch all of The Last Airbender because I've only seen the first season of Korra, and
Oh right.
yeah, I watched it when it was new, and I watched a good bit of season 2 of Legend of Korra as well, but what seasons 3 and 4 of Korra I know are crazy.
I love it.
And I really want to watch those. Unfortunately, I've had a lot of spoilers for it over the years. But
I
I think
have
that's
not.
Sorry,
okay.
bud.
I'm as lost as anyone on this front, which is good, I suppose.
I've had worse spoilers recently.
Oh no. What sort of stuff?
Well,
What do you mean? What sort of stuff? We can't know what the spoilers are.
Not the spoilers, but is
I
it
can tell
is
you
it
what they are
TV or
of.
videos?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, so as you guys would obviously know, I
This
have
is
spent almost all of my free time
anxiety-inducing, by the
catching
way.
up on games that I've bought but haven't played on my computer.
Yeah.
Sure,
I
yeah.
played through the Spyro Reignited trilogy. I finished Dishonored: Death of the Outsider.
Oh,
And then after almost 2 years, I finally went back to Hollow Knight.
Yeah. How'd it go? Or how's it been going?
Hollow Knight's amazing. So for those who don't know, Hollow Knight is an adventure game where you play as a little bug warrior. And you're traveling the ruins of this big underground bug city, and everything's bugs, and it's great.
it's incredible.
It's an incredible game. It's really
pretty
good
good.
atmosphere. It tells a lot of story that you have to discover, and you have to read about yourself, and you have to put the clues together. And I beat it.
You did?
I did. I beat it 2 nights ago. I
Oh my
didn't
God.
intend to beat it that night, but I did.
You sent it?
And it was very clear from the ending that I got the worst ending.
Spoilers.
Oh no.
So, but I had no idea what I missed.
I
So
know
I
what you
wanted
missed.
to go online and look up just a little hint of where I was supposed to go.
No.
And I did a little bit of a deep dive. A little bit.
Yeah.
So
that happens.
I had a little more than I wanted to spoiled. But that's okay, because it actually turns out I went to the right place, but I must not have taken like 2 more steps because what I was supposed to see didn't activate.
Sorry,
And
bud.
I don't know what I would have if I would have figured it out, even if I hadn't known. So it's fine. There's a lot more to see. It's all good.
Good.
It's
think-
a lot about the journey, not necessarily about the destination.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think Alex deafened himself for that conversation. But
I did.
You're good now.
You were getting way too close to it. I can't. I've waited so long for Hollow Knight, so much longer than anyone has any right to claim.
Well, good news is now you have plenty of time to take a stab at it.
Well, who knows,
I would
eventually.
seriously recommend.
I was following
Hollow
that game
Knight
for like
anyone.
2 years before its release, which was 3 years ago now. So
Wow.
Wow, it
Um,
was. Sheesh.
yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah. So I'm not getting any spoilers right now, no matter what.
Well, I would never. I'm sorry I said what I said, but I would
no,
never share
it's
anything
okay.
specific,
It's
obviously.
okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you'll probably figure out what I missed,
I
because I figured out what
I'm
I
not
missed.
gonna miss anything. Is the point?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I can't in a game like that. I'm too I try at what's the word I'm looking for?
Completion.
No, it doesn't matter. We can move on from this point. Point is, this is not interesting stuff. What I'm talking about now. This is just me fixating on what word I'm looking for. What else? Hollow Knight's good. I don't know. It's been interesting to see how different communities have restructured aspects of what they do. You know, for like games, even.
Oh.
Which is what we're talking about here. Like how
Right. like just
Well,
how
we're talking about how we're spending our time. Not
No, I
just
know,
games,
and
but-
it just happens that a lot of how we're spending our time is games. I'm also trying to do more writing again. It hasn't been
yeah,
it hasn't been spectacular. I've actually read less since the quarantine started because
me
I've
too.
been able to reach out to people so much that like I've created a remote social calendar. I think that
It's a good one.
I think that it's a great book. I think that there's for what it's worth, I'm reading Marcus Aurelius. It's not here, so I can't pick it up and show it to them.
I do love Marcus Aurelius, though. I have that
Me
over there.
too. I'm starting doing. I'm an actor for people who don't know, and I'm
Mhm.
starting doing these play readings twice weekly with some friends of mine, which is going to be nice. That's another way to spend time,
Very cool.
and actually do something that's related to acting. Is look, I'm not claiming any kind of disproportionate struggle. I think that we have to all be aware of the ways in which of all the different things that are going on. It's very not. I don't want to bring it down at all, so I'm not going to focus on that. The point is, acting is weird in these times because
Acting is
there is
weird.
no acting in these times, and that's okay. We need to do what we have to do. The more sacrifices we make, the more we can speed along people's recovery and living and safety and all these things. But there is weirdness related to how so colossally some things just can't happen. And but what was I talking about? Oh, so yeah, wow, completely lost track of my point. Point is, it's been weird that I'm trying to take advantage of what I can to work on different projects or whatever.
Mhm.
I definitely recommend to people watching who don't have a consistent method of find a way to video chat people. Do it on Facebook Messenger or use Discord or Zoom or
Even just Google
something.
Hangout,
Yeah, or Google Hangouts. Just
FaceTime.
find
Skype.
ways to reach out to the people that you want to reach out to, and let people reach out to you. I would say because I think that that's been the most important thing in all of this for me. I know this isn't an advice show, but I don't know there's a lot of
It is
ways
now.
to stay connected through technology, and I think that people are not always aware of the ways in which they can do that, and I think that that's important.
Well, like we over the weekend we had a huge group video chat with everyone we play D&D with.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Dungeons
had
and
what,
Dragons.
11 people on that?
Yeah, it
Something like
must
that.
it
There
was
was
10 or
people
11.
There was 11 at the Apex.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was incredible. And we did it on Zoom here and it was easy.
Yep. It's pretty simple. I mean, we had how many different households? 5 or 6, 7 different households,
Something
different
like
families.
that, yeah. We could probably
and
count
friend
it, but
groups.
I don't think people are necessarily interested in the specifics.
But we got together, we played some social games that would be impossible if this were to have happened like 10 years ago. It would have been
Oh yeah.
everything uh, that's advanced in terms of telecommunications and communication in general. It's making social distance or physical distancing function. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah, and there shouldn't be. I don't know if this is necessarily the environment, but I think that there's a lot of people I'm sure are feeling a pressure that I know a lot of people are feeling because a lot of people are talking about it. That like if this time is going to exist, that in addition to whatever work from home that we're doing, because a lot of work from home for a lot of people has been still a reduced workload or a reduced work day from their traditional work, and people are finding themselves with more time, and a lot of people are sort of being inundated with ways in which people are being productive in that time. Like, oh, I'm finally writing that screenplay or whatever. People, and I think
Mhm.
this you see a lot of this from artists, but I think we're all artists in some way. I think that there's also this thing of like it's okay to feel what you feel because we're experiencing a sort of tremendously difficult and tremendously complicated moment, and happiness can be productive and being safe can be productive, and you shouldn't feel the pressure to. I've been trying to figure out ways to not feel the pressure to, also be finishing a screenplay in the next, because we might be in this for a while. I mean, Charlie Baker announced immediately before this call began that the extension of the the shelter in place type situation until
Yeah.
May 4th. At
We
the
mentioned that
earliest.
just before you got in.
Oh, sorry. And
That's okay.
And it's just, there's time. We all are going through a lot, and we all are figuring out what we can do time at a time. So I'm finishing The Amazing World of Gumball. That's what I'm doing, which is a TV show, which is very excellent. And
It's a good project.
Yeah,
there's
that's
like
a very good
15
show.
episodes left.
Not for everyone, but
it's not for everyone, but it's for
It's
most.
definitely
It's for
for
a
us.
lot of
it's
people.
definitely for us. No matter how much I didn't like it when it was first on.
There's
Me
a
too.
lot of there's a lot of things to do, right? I've been trying to play games, do events, learn new board games and card games, and figure out ways to remotely play different games. Because there's a lot of board games and stuff that you can actually play remotely with people, and there's websites that help you do that and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's interesting to see.
Well, like I mentioned that we were in a group chat with our D&D group, or one of our D&D groups, the big D&D group. And like, that's a game that I am the dungeon master for. I run the game. And like, we haven't met since social quarantine has been in effect, because we were meeting up basically every Saturday, actually.
Pretty much weekly, yeah.
A good track running for a few months.
Yeah.
But since we're in this for the long run, like, there's no reason that we don't just keep playing on Zoom or something. Or
Agreed.
yeah, like we should keep doing that. Like,
We have the ability to. I mean,
Yeah.
And I have some good ideas for where that campaign's going to go.
There's been a lot of I've played a lot of remote RPGs when I was living elsewhere, etc. And I think that it's always I think it's different, but it's a satisfying. It is a satisfying way to spend your time, and it lets you do something that you love doing.
And
it's
I'm
not the hardest thing to do remotely. Sorry.
No worries. Like my D&D group with my college friends, when we left college, we all moved to different places. So we started a Skype D&D game. So we've been continuing playing through this time, despite the call for social distancing, just because that's how we always played. We weren't practicing for this event, obviously, but I mean,
I would hope not.
It's what we'd have to do. No, if I had the foresight of this event and I didn't tell anybody, I'd be a monster.
Yeah, you'd be a terrible person, but luckily that's not the case.
Thankfully. Fun.
Yeah. No, there's a lot to do. Like, I have so many shows that I could watch. And I probably will get to them in time, but I have more games that I want to play first.
I mean, I was saying this to Alex just last week. After a week or two of working from home and not being at school, I said to him, like, I have more time than ever, and I feel like there's so little time to do everything.
Yeah. It becomes
so
its
much
own thing.
When I learned that I didn't have to go to school for several months, my to-do list and my want to-do list multiplied tenfold. And while I know what direction I want to go and what projects I want to work on first, like there's just so much more now that I don't usually have time to do.
Yeah, my day hasn't actually changed all that much personally. I'm very fortunate that I can do my job from home. So I'm still basically working the same hours, or at least I'm trying to, as best as I can. So my schedule hasn't. I don't have as much of an excuse to that I haven't done as much as I probably should be with my time. But like one of my resolutions was I was trying to write every day. And for 2 months, I was going great.
You did very well.
And then March came along and I wasn't doing good at all. And then social distancing happened. And actually, you can literally see my calendar right there. It's closed because I was marking off every day with a Sharpie pen, like when I would write. And I closed up that calendar because I just wasn't doing it. And so I gave myself the rest of March off to just take a mental health break from the stress of needing to do that. But I do intend to get up tomorrow and make myself get back at it on
That's
April.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's just I got to make goals for myself. Otherwise I'll procrastinate until I die. So
it's not a bad idea. I might steal your idea.
Procrastinate until you die.
No, not that idea. Sorry,
that's not a good idea.
I was a little behind that. Sorry. No, I'm gonna.
I have no
'Cause right now I
idea.
just
What,
have sticky notes.
What was that, Tom?
sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
I have no idea what this means, but we got a YouTube comment. I'm guessing it relates to a game. It says Roll20 is a PETA to use though. Not sure what that means.
Yeah,
yeah,
roll 20.
I'm
I know
assuming
what
it's
pain
yeah.
in the. Don't want to say it.
Yeah.
I know what Roll20
Thank you.
is.
Yeah, Roll20 is a website that lets you enforce remotely the rules of tabletop RPGs and make maps and pages and things. It is. There's other ones. Fantasy Grounds exists, but is expensive, and I'm not recommending it. Not because I don't know if it's good or not, because I've never used it. I'm just saying that it's a thing. There's
I've never
another
used it
one
either.
I think called Ardent, maybe. I have a
the
tab
only
of
one
it
I
open
use is
somewhere.
Roll20.
Point is that one's
Okay.
free for a while. They're making it free for the period of time where for at least a period of time when this is happening. And I think that's so people then subscribe to it. It's called Astral. I don't know if it's any good. I also know that some people like it. Take this time to become better at Roll20, I guess. Roll20 is a pain. I think the Roll20 is a tremendous pain. I think Matt agrees that Roll20 is a tremendous pain. Okay, it's a medium level pain. It is a worthwhile pain.
I would tend to agree. That's why we haven't been playing D&D the last few weeks, because we would be playing on that.
Yeah.
And it's not a pain as much as I just prefer in person. So
absolutely.
and play in person, I would prefer to. I thought when this happened, I thought we were going to be in quarantine for 2 or 3 weeks at most, but now it's not looking like that.
Well,
so if we don't have the option, we're going to go with my less preferred option. We're going to use it. I don't dislike it that much. And besides, I remember the first time we used it, Alex, when you got into the game with my college friends. We had a blast just moving the little characters around the grid.
Oh, it's great.
And it never reached that level of fun again in the year and a half that we played that game.
Roll20 is it's like an online platform for you to play Dungeons and Dragons. There's little battle maps that you can use and interact with. And like Matt was just saying, you could move your character around.
You can make them, and
there's a grid. You can draw maps. You can create maps.
It's a very versatile tool because you can also put secret notes on it. You can put any number of there's a huge number of things that you can do with it. It's just that it is I mean, it's free.
It has a high learning curve. I understand that.
It has a high learning curve. I think that it is a useful program.
Yeah, if we use it, Sam, don't ever expect anything that nothing like that. Don't ever expect anything like that.
Matt and I are playing in another D&D game, and our dungeon master is really good at using
very
Roll20.
good, very professional looking maps. Mine look like they're drawn on MS
Some public
Paint,
applause.
which isn't even saying that much because I'm very good at MS Paint.
Very, very good.
And I can make very good looking things on MS Paint, but not these.
That's fair. It's a solution, YouTube commenter, and like, yeah, I get that it can be kind of a pain sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's not for everyone. Nothing's for everyone.
No.
There's another comment on YouTube that says, "Hi, Hopkinton gamers."
Pizza's for everyone.
Hello, Hopkinton gamers.
Hello.
Hey, Hopkinton gamers.
But it says there, just hi, Hopkinton gamers.
Thank you, YouTube commenter.
Yeah, I just like to throw it out. If anyone watching has any questions, we have less than 10 minutes left, but we would love to take them while we have time. I should have thought to put that out a few minutes ago, but if you have any, we would love for you to chime in. That's what we want the show to be about, and that's this is a little bit of a different edition of Hangout Hours than we've been doing, and it's more of a discussion. But I think we want to have more of this kind of program going forward. I think is a goal for us at HCAM.
Do you mean just because I'm not familiar? Do you mean during this time when we're quarantined, or even when we return to our more normal?
Mostly it's while we're in quarantine. Like we're trying to bring the Hopkinton community together.
That's awesome.
as best as we can. So that's why it's Hopkinton Hangout Hour. We're inviting people to hang out with us.
That's great.
Yeah, and a lot of the previous ones have been a lot of like just like one person's on and we're asking them questions. But this one's more of a conversation, and I think that's different, and I think that's good.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys doing that. I know there's a lot of folks that I'm sure just need a break from whatever they're working on, or would like to just have a conversation that seems pretty organic, pretty genuine. And
Yeah. So, like I said, chime in. We're talking about what we're doing to spend our time when we're home, and we've been talking about mostly video games because that's what the three of us like to do. But
because
we're
it's
gonna.
harder to do a lot of physical games right now. I've been playing a lot of board games with my family, which has been an excellent use of my time.
Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that with my family as well. But on Friday, I just want to plug this. We're going to be having a very special edition of Hopkinton Hangout Hours, where we're going to be talking about what shows we've been binge watching. And if you want to get in on that, we absolutely invite you to. You can check us out at hcam.tv/hangout or hangouts, I believe. And so yeah, check us out then. We'll be live on Friday at 2.
Sure.
So I don't know. Any last thoughts? We have a few more
Gumball,
minutes.
the end of Steven Universe.
Ooh, the end of Steven
There's
Universe.
one here. There was a "What's your favorite games?" comment on the YouTube chat here, and we've got a Gloomhaven reference. I've never had the distinct pleasure of playing Gloomhaven as much as I've always wanted to.
Me
Tons
either.
of board games. Yeah, I love board games. My WoW subscription has been inactive for a while, but I've been thinking about going back.
World of Warcraft.
And RPGs are my favorite. I read tons of RPG books all the time. I mean, yeah, it's I mean, I don't know. I'm iterating on it's what we're talking about. It's you're finding new ways to do the things that you like doing, or finding new time to do things that you like doing and didn't have time for. Which, yes, is why I've been playing a lot of games, mostly with people, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. I've been playing mostly single player games.
That's because, but to be fair, we're doing the. You haven't had a lot of time to do that in a long time.
Well, yeah, for a lot of reasons. Mostly it was because since I moved back home, because my parents live around the corner from HCAM, so it doesn't make much sense for me to be spending money on rent right now. The setup in my room wasn't good for playing games at my computer very well. So I finally rearranged that a few weeks ago, and I finally, have a place where I can just sit back and relax and play games. And so I've been doing it. And when I get into games, hard, and I finish games very quickly. As I said, I played the Spyro the Dragon Reignited trilogy. That's 3 games, none of which are short, and I played those in a week.
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
I wish I could do that. I've been playing mostly Hearthstone.
Hey, that's great.
Which is
another
card game. Yeah.
An online card game.
Another community that had to change it to 100% leveling boost until April 20th, and wow. Thanks for letting me know. That's a comment on the thing here. It's also been Hearthstone had to reframe how they were doing their pre-release events and their fireside gatherings because of this. So now anyone can run one from their house.
I believe mine is scheduled for Friday for just me.
Mine is also scheduled for Friday for just me.
I don't have one.
That's fair.
Plenty of people have been offering video games and stuff for free too. So if you have like an Epic Store subscription, or an Epic Store account, or a Steam account, which are both video game distributors, tons of free games on those. I can't speak to the quality of many of those free games, but I can speak to the quality of some of those free games. Basically, everything Epic's been offering free is they were running it very quick, very, very fast for a while there. They're slowing down a little bit, but you still get a free game every week. And a lot of those games are high profile and good games.
Mm-hmm. So we only have a few minutes left. Any last?
Alex, anything?
Yeah, be safe.
Sorry, I don't mean to play on.
Be safe. Be yourself. Find ways to make yourself happy while not, endangering anybody. I guess find ways to help the people around you. Call your friends.
I'll call you. Fine, I'll call you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we'll-
I haven't been
This was
calling you
all-
as
this
much.
was all. Yeah, this was all. What all of this was me trying to get you to answer my phone calls.
this whole
All right,
thing
I'll be better. I promise.
Matt started Geek Week
a year ago.
a year ago so that I could force you to call me more now.
It's been a long scam, and now it's done. Goodbye, everyone. No more Geek Week ever. Until the next one. We actually do have a show that we were gonna shoot, but I was sick, and then social distancing happened, so it's getting pushed back a few months now.
Listen to podcasts. Other way to spend your time. Going back to all my favorite comedy podcasts, I listen to almost exclusively comedy podcasts, so I'm not
I
a
need to get
great
into
frame of
podcasts.
reference for non-comedy podcasts, except
I
for
listen to almost
some true crime
exclusively
podcasts.
news
'Cause I listen to
podcasts.
true crime podcasts also, but
All right. I do need to cut it off here though, guys, because we're
That's
gonna
all right.
go off any second now. So Tom, anything you want to say as we close out here?
We'll see you tomorrow at 2:00.
Yeah, we'll see you guys then. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Hopkinton Hangout Hour, and we will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.